The theme of this video is I get no respect. Let's call it the Rodney Dangerfield video, and it is dedicated to USC, South Carolina, and Aneesah Morrow. We're gonna go through why these three are not getting their due respect by taking a quick look at tournament seeding and why SC and USC feel like they got jobbed by the committee. As well, the AP All-American teams came out and why Aneesah Morrow might be saying, I get no respect.
I mean, that's the story of my life. No respect. I don't get no respect at all. Are you kidding?
But before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel as it really helps. All right, let's get into this. Now let's start with looking at the tournament seedings. So as I previously outlined, Dawn Staley was disappointed with the 2 seed. Her reasoning was, we play a tough schedule. We had the most quad 1 wins, and you're punishing us for one bad loss to UConn, essentially. Yes, we also lost to UCLA on the road, which was by more than 10 points, but at the same time, UCLA lost to their in-conference opponent twice, that being USC. So why aren't we the 1 seed when we had the most quad 1 wins? And I find that to be a good argument. Or really what I don't like is this metric that the committee uses, which is a bad loss, as I think it's outdated because of 3-pointers. If you take, for instance, that UConn game, that bad loss, UConn shot 46% from 3, going 13 of 28, versus South Carolina 3 for 17. If UConn shoots that well from 3, you're going to have a bad loss just because of the offense they run and the amount of threes they take. The other thing I don't like about it, the whole notion of be afraid of a bad loss, like be afraid to fail. That is not what the committee should be putting out there, because we want teams to schedule competitive games in the regular season, as it makes for a better regular season. You're able to see where these teams line up. Dawn Staley would rightly be asking, why should I schedule UConn again in the middle of SEC play if I'm just going to get punished if we go down badly? Now, the USC argument is much like South Carolina. We scheduled a good non-conference schedule. They had Ole Miss, Notre Dame, who they lost to, but then they had a good win at UConn on the road. And they won their conference, beating UCLA twice. And yes, they lost to UCLA in the tournament. So if you're going to put UCLA in front of them, Gottlieb was fine. UCLA's fine as a 1 seed. But her issue was more with Texas. Texas played Notre Dame tight on the road, but their only other strong non-conference game was West Virginia. And then it's easy to make the argument they beat UCLA twice during conference play. UCLA beat South Carolina, and South Carolina beat Texas twice. So it would have been easy to make USC the 3 seed and to make Texas the 4 seed if that's how the committee felt. And then with South Carolina being 1 and Texas 4, that allows them to keep them in Birmingham as well. Spokane could have USC and UCLA as 1 seed, so they don't have to travel so far. And then it would have set up nicer for Gottlieb and USC, because instead of facing UConn, who they've already played in the Sweet 16, they would have had TCU instead, which seems like a much favorable matchup. It could be argued Gottlieb played this wrong, and maybe these coaches are playing it wrong. Gottlieb should have load managed JuJu and said, hey, you're not playing in the Big Ten tournament. We don't want to risk injury. And if they would have lost early or even lost to UCLA without JuJu Watkins, it would have been dismissed. And maybe that's what teams will start doing. That's my fear. Instead of going in with a team that's tired, that's played 3 consecutive days, why do that if you're USC? You've beaten UCLA twice. Just hold out your player and put it on the committee to make the call. And obviously, I don't want to see USC do that. I like the tournament games, but what I am saying is I don't like the committee setting it up. Hey, you lost badly to this team, or you scheduled hard and you had these losses, therefore we're going to punish you and move you down. Now, I'd rather they err on the other way and say, hey, you scheduled tough games, you lost a few, but we'll give you more credit for scheduling those games, because that's how you ensure better regular season games happen versus teams scheduling weak like LSU. Now, I usually make fun of LSU and Kim Mulkey, but she can do whatever she wants, Kim Mulkey. If that's the best way she prepares her team during the season is playing weaker opponents, then it's her job on the line. Then go ahead and do that. And she's willing to wear it. She said after their last regular season loss, I don't care about the tournament. If we lose early, fine by me. We'll get rest. I'm happy to be a 3 seed. I have my home game, and we'll take our chances. Much like they did the year before when they took out UCLA as a 3 seed. Now, lastly, this isn't a big deal. The tournament starts. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Get on with it. But yeah, I just wanted to point it out. Now let's move on to the AP All-American team. So first team is JuJu, Hannah Hidalgo, Paige Beckers, Madison Booker, and Lauren Bett. Second team is Tanaya Latson, Olivia Miles, Georgia Amore, Sarah Strong, and Aneesah Morrow. Third team, Haley Van Lith, Michaela Blakes, Flau'jae Johnson, Audie Crooks, and Kiki Arieffin. Now, I don't think it's fair to complain about these teams if you don't put up your own team. So that is what I'm going to do. So I think they got one thing wrong on their first team, which was leaving Aneesah Morrow off. So I've replaced her with Madison Booker. It's very tight. Madison Booker won SEC Player of the Year, and when I look at their numbers, I just like Aneesah Morrow's rebounding stats, and their numbers are so similar. I give it to Morrow just due to her rebounding stats over Madison Booker. Doesn't mean I don't think Madison Booker is a good player or anything like that. So I have JuJu, Hannah Hidalgo, Paige Beckers, Aneesah Morrow, and Lauren Bett's first team. Paige Becker's numbers are slightly down, but she's so efficient. Yeah, she'll be on my first team. Hannah Hidalgo and Latston, their numbers are very similar, but Hannah Hidalgo is just a little bit more efficient. You could say Latston won the head-to-head, and she deserves to be on first team, but no, I'm going with Hannah Hidalgo. My second team is Olivia Miles, Tanaya Latson, Madison Booker, Sarah Strong, and Kiki Arieffin. So I've taken off Georgia Amore, and Aneesah Morrow's obviously moved up, and Booker's been moved down to second team. I like Amore. I think she's a good player, but I want my team set out properly. I think you have to have a 5 or a 4 on your team. So I'd rather Kiki Arieffin and Sarah Strong. I just don't want a whole bunch of guards with big numbers, so that's why I've moved Amore. Third team, I would have Georgia Amore, Michaela Williams, Flau'jae Johnson, and then what I've done, I've put Oldacre and Jones is one entity because they split minutes. I think they deserve it. As Texas dominated on the inside, if you don't like that, fine. Then I choose Taylor Jones and Regan Beers to be my bigs for my third team. The one that loses out, Haley Van Lith and Michaela Blakes are kicked off. They've both had good years. I just don't think they're good enough defensively. I'd rather have Georgia Amore. Georgia Amore did well in the SEC, where Haley Van Lith, she struggled in the SEC in the physicality. That's why Amore's in there over Haley Van Lith. Audie Crooks puts up big numbers offensively, but she's so limited defensively. I think Beers is more of a two-way player. That's why she gets the nod over Audie Crooks. Now, happy for your poison and telling me how wrong I am, but I would take the Back to Sports first team over the AP All-American first team. Same thing with the second team and third teams. I believe my teams are better set out. But again, happy for your poison and opinions. Now let's get on to the tournament proper. I hope to get a video out previewing the games on Friday. Thanks a lot for watching. Good night.